Welcome, learner, to our next lecture 9, which is based on steps and objective of demand forecasting. From our earlier slide, we have already studied the introduction, meaning, components, characteristics of demand forecasting. In this slide, we will study the steps and objective of demand forecasting. Let's see one by one. Let's first study the learning objective of demand forecasting. In this particular lecture, we can learn the steps and objective of demand forecasting. Let's see one by one what are the learning objective. First, we have to understand the steps of demand forecasting. Along with that, we have to study the objective of demand forecasting, recognize the purpose of demand forecasting, identify the key methods that has been used in demand forecasting, this is the qualitative and quantitative methods, and last is explain the importance of demand forecasting for business planning. Let's see one by one. Okay, let's see the steps of demand forecasting. So in steps of demand forecasting, the first step is determining the purpose of forecasting. So here, the first step of demand forecasting is to clarify the define the objective of forecasting. So in business, must determine why the forecast is required and how it will be used. So the forecast is required because planning production level, as you know very well that how much should be produced and what is the production level, it is very important for planning the production. The next one is determining inventory requirement, it means storage requirements, only essential production should be made. The next is developing marketing strategy. Marketing strategy is again very important because you have to see that there are different types of market run in the economy, and to stay in the market, marketing strategy is very important for advertisement and sales. The next one is planning of financial budget. Again, financial management is also very important because we have to production only those goods and services which give the highest sales or profit as per the manager or business. Okay, the second step is selecting the forecasting period. In this particular step, the managers has to decide the time period for whom which demand will be forecasted. So forecasted can be done for different time horizon. The first one is short time forecasting. It is usually up to 1 year. So it helps in production planning and inventory management. Okay. Second is medium term forecasting. It is usually up to 1 to 3 years. It's also help in business planning and budgeting. The last one is long-term forecasting. It is more than 3 years. In this planning, basically manager use for expansion, production planning, investment decision, and capacity planning. So selecting the appropriate forecasting helps business plan in their activity. Next is collecting relevant data. It is very important that business gather all necessary information required for forecasting demand. So data may be collected from various sources. The types of data includes past sale data. So here we can say that for past sale data helps in the present for the production planning and investment inventory planning decision. And along with that, there's a market trend, analyzing the current market condition and emergency trend. So to see the past data of markets, and we can analyze the current market condition. Along with that, consumer preferences is very important, understanding the consumer buying habits and preferences through survey and market research. The next one is competitor information. We have also collect the competitor information, gathering data on competitors, their sale, their strategy, and market present. So reliable and accurate data is essential for making correct forecast. So the next step is analysis of data. So after collecting the data, it must be very careful analyzed to identify the patterns and trade. So here business may use different analytical tools and techniques. The first technique is statistical technique. So in this technique, statistical method to study the demand data and also measuring the relationship between the variables and improve the reliability of forecast. The next one is, okay, first see the example I have taken this. A company analyzes past sale data using statistical formulas to estimate future demand. By using these statistical techniques, we can analyze the past data, and by using this technique, we can estimate the future demand of good. So this tools is very important. The next one is trends analysis. So trends analysis describe whether the demand is increasing, decreasing, or remain stable. So here trend analysis observe historical data to detect the consistent movements or trends, or maybe it may be see the variance in the past years. So it is very useful for predicting future demand based on past behavior. The next we can say that regression analysis, again it is very important. Why? Because in here we have studied the relationship between the demand and influencing factor. As I told you that demand, it's not depend only on price, it depends on other factor like consumer trends, price of other products like substitute and complementary goods. There are number of influencing factors have been there. So how variables such as price, advertising, income level, or population affect the demand. So regression analysis is widely used in economic and marketing forecasting. The last one is time series data is here. It analyzes the data collected over time to identify seasonal, cyclical, long-term structural trends for business forecast higher demand. So we can say that data analysis help business understand how demand has changed over the time and what factor influence the demand. It enables companies to make more accurate and reliable demand forecast. Okay. This is the basic graph of four analysis part which have been made. Let's see how it will be work. This is the statistical analysis, and this is the graph which is shown in a upward face in the right direction. This is the trend analysis graph. Okay, this is the regression graph between the two variables relation, and this is the time series graph which is in a fluctuating way. This is are the four analysis part of demand forecasting which have been used in which have been used to see the future demand. Okay, this is the fifth step. In fifth step, this is the forecasting method. Choosing the forecasting method after collecting and analyzing the data, the business must select an appropriate forecasting method. So particular in this forecasting method, we have to see the qualitative method which is based on expert judgment, opinions, and market information rather than numerical data. In the last scenario we have to see the quantitative method, but in this area we have seen the qualitative method to analyze the data and form the future demand for goods. Let's see one by one. The first one is expert opinion. In expert opinion, collecting predictions and insight from experienced professionals such as manager, industry specialist, and market analysis. In this method, expert analyzes the market condition, customer behavior, and industry trend. This experience help business estimate future demand. This is the expert opinion method. The next one is market survey method. So here market survey collect information directly from the consumer about their taste, preference, buying intentions, and expected demand. In here, business conducts survey through questionnaire, interview, and online forms, and it understands customer needs and future purchasing behavior. So this was directly from consumer. The next is Delphi method. In this method, structure forecasting method that gathered opinion from a group expert through a multiple rounds of a questionnaire. So here experts provide their forecast independently and respondents are summarized and shared anonymously with the group. These are the three qualitative methods. Okay, choosing the demand forecasting method. Let's see the quantitative methods of demand forecasting. The first one is trend production, second one is regression analysis, and third one is econometric models. By using trend production, we identify the future trend by extending past trend into future. By using trend analysis, we can find out the future demand for goods and services. And by using regression analysis, we can find out the relationship between the variables. Okay, now the next is econometric models. By using complex mathematical statistical method to forecast demand, it combines from various sources to build sophisticated forecasting method, and it examines the economic indicators such as GDP, unemployment rate, and interest rates. These are the three quantitative methods of demand forecasting. Okay, now the next step is monitoring and revising the forecast. As I told you earlier in the lecture, that demand forecasting is not a one-time activity, so forecast must be continuous monitored and revised if it is necessary. So why it is monitoring and revised? It is monitoring and revised because to ensure accuracy, adapt to changes, help timely decisions, and improve business planning. So I have already mentioned here. Just look at once. So reason for revising the forecast. Why is the reason for revising the forecast? Because to changes in the market condition, the consumer demand can be shift, it can be increase or decrease. New products and new commodities are trend in the market. Seasonal changes can be there. As you know very well, there are four seasons. According to that, we have launched the product. We have to see also the customer or consumer behavior. Sometimes you have seen that the consumer behavior maybe changes, or their taste maybe or preference maybe change. The next one is government policies. Government policies may also be changes due to the economic fluctuation. So, for example, a rise in online shopping may reduce offline store sales. So, this is the changes in market condition. That's why there is a revising the forecast. The next reason is new competitor entering in the market. As you know very well that new companies, new competitor are entering the market. So there is a highly competition in the market, and price war may affect the demand. So production quality and promotion impact the sales. For example, new brand offering lower prices reduces your production demand. The next is economic fluctuation due to recession, inflation, depression, or unemployment. It is very important to monitoring and revise the demand forecast for the product because it affect buyers power, and consumer demand may be reduced or increased due to the recession, inflation, or fluctuations. So sometimes we have seen that due to recession, people cut down on luxury purchases and go to cheap goods. So the next is changes in consumer preferences. As you know very well, the customer may prefer new products. Their lifestyle and taste may be changes by the time. Why? Because there is a technology advance which influences the choice. Sometimes we have seen that the people may shift from traditional to eco-friendly products. So benefits of regular evaluation, which keeps forecast updated. Okay, now reduces errors also, better planning and higher profitability. So monitoring and revising the forecast is very important. Okay, let's see the next step, that is the estimating future demands. For estimating future demands, we have to see the consumer demand patterns, their buying trends and preferences. Seasonal patterns also we have to see. Again, we have to see the market competition, competitor analysis. We have to see in the rival competitors marketing strategies, and also we have to see the which market run in the economy. Okay, we have also see the price also, market share and strategy is also important. I've already explained economic conditions. We have to see economic growth and employment rate, inflation, interest rate. This is the macroeconomic variables. We have to also already study in the earlier chapters, earlier lectures. The next is price changes. Price maybe increases or decreases, or the cost of raw materials maybe increase or decrease. So this estimates the future demand. So here the next is forecasted demand, estimated demand for the future, plan for production, inventory and sales. Okay, let's see the objective of demand forecasting. The first objective is planning production. Planning production is very important in business. Prepare, manage production efficiently by predicting future demand. So here the managers have to decide how much to produce. It means in which quantity the production has been made. The second one is prevent losses causes by making too much or too little. As you know very well, underproduction or overproduction may occur loss for the manager. So it is very important that production should be done efficiently. So supports smooth and timely production planning. As you know very well that if we if we already forecast the demand for the future products, so time it is a time savior, and also it supports smoothly and timely production can be possible. So accurate production lead to better resource management, cost control and quality output. Okay, let's see the second objective. Second objective is inventory management. So here we have seen that demand forecasting help organization to make proper inventory levels. Why? It allows business to maintaining sufficient stock. It ensures that there is enough inventory to meet the consumer demand at all time. So should avoid the overproduction. It is very essential that we should demand forecast for the future goods and services. It's also reduce the cost of inventory storage to optimize stock levels to minimize the warehouse expenses. So it helps to maintain proper inventory levels. Here, the third objective is financial planning. The financial planning is also very important. Why? It helps business to estimate future revenues and expenses. It is very important that to prepare a budget, or maybe called as make an accurate budget, which is based on estimated sales and cost, and very important for the planned investment which make the better profit for the goods or the future demand. And along with that, to manage the cash flow efficiently, optimize cash flow by anticipating cash need and managing cost. So demand for financial planning, it's very important. Why? We have to prepare the budget, plan investment and manage cost effectively. Again, marketing strategy is also very important. Why? Because forecasting demands enables company to develop effective marketing strategies. Marketing strategy is very important to stay or compete in the market. Here we have to see the plan promotional activities, which schedules ad, sales campaign and product launches, which is based on forecast demanded for the future. Also set the appropriating price strategies to adjust the price strategically to make maximize profit while remaining competitive. It is very important because you have to, if we have to charges the higher prices in the domestic market, the consumer may shift to the another one. So pricing strategy is very important. Then the next is identifying target market. The main focus is identifying the target markets. The audience must most likely to buy your products or service. We have to focus on the product or resources which consumer maybe wants or likes. So marketing strategy is very important in the demand forecasting. Okay. The next is resource allocation. The allocation of resource is very important because we have to allocate the resources efficiently, or maybe says as optimization of resources. Why? We have a labor, we have a raw material, so it should be used in such a way that we get optimal output to meet the customer demand without the storage or access. So resources should be allocated in such a way that it should be optimized the maximum profit. Second is a raw material to reduce extra cost and prevent stock storage by balancing planning. The next one is maintaining efficient production schedule. Plan timely production to improve workflow and resource utilization. So here it can be utilized properly based on expected demand. So here allocation of resources is very important for the future demand or demand forecast. Okay, the next objective is reducing business risk. As you know very well that accurate demand forecasting helps reduce uncertainty and business risk. It enables company to make informed decision, avoid unnecessary losses and prepare for market changes. So here make informed decision, use demand forecast to guide strategic planning and operational choice. For avoid unnecessary losses, it should be minimize the financial setback and inefficiencies by anticipating demand and also prepare for market changes to adopt to shift in the market environment through proactive preparation. So business risk reducing is also important in the demand forecasting and it is the one of the most important objective. The next is supporting business growth and expansion. So here demand forecasting help business plan long-term growth and it assists in decision related to expanding the production capacity, entering new market, launching new product. This ensures sustainable growth for the organization. So here, as we say in the one line that for you by the using of demand forecast we have to see whether the production of good it's necessary in the future demand or not. So here expand production capacity it's only possible when we see the goods which is necessary in the future. So investing in more facilities and equipment based on predicted demand, as we know that future demand for good is important, so we can expand our production capacity. So entering new markets, as we know that by the rational thinker, if there is a new commodity which has been useful for the market in the future demand, what we do, we will entering um, in the new market to identifying the opportunities in untapped region for expansion. Here we have to launch new product for developing innovation product that align with forecasted and consumer needs. So here this ensures sustainable growth for the organization. Thank you very much, learners. From the next class, we have studied the factor affecting importance, limitations of demand forecasting. Thank you so much for connecting.